All right, welcome to the City of Iowa City's formal meeting on November 19, 2024. It is just after 6 p.m. I'm going to call this meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Alter. Here. Burgess. Here. Dunn. Harmson.
Here.
Moe.
Here.
Saleh. Yeah. Teague.
Here. Welcome to everyone that is here present in your City Hall, and to those that are virtual, we welcome you as well. We're going to move on to items 2, which is proclamations. We have 2A, National Apprentice Week. Whereas National Apprentice Week is celebrating its 10th anniversary of raising awareness of the vital role registered apprenticeships provide in creating economic opportunities for allowing apprentices to earn while they learn and preparing a pathway to good quality jobs and family supporting careers in Iowa City and across the nation. And whereas the City of Iowa City joins with local affiliates of North America's building trades unions as part of this national event to recognize the urgent need to prepare and maintain an inclusive, diverse, and highly skilled workforce that is capable of meeting the needs of the local construction industry. And whereas the City of Iowa City recognizes that registered apprenticeship is an industry-driven training model with a proven ability to improve job quality and skills, which will play a critical role in addressing our nation's most pressing workforce challenges as we rebuild our country's infrastructure, address critical supply chain demands, and support a clean energy future. And whereas our region is home to state-of-the-art building trades registered apprenticeship programs in which workers are paid family-supporting wages with health care and retirement benefits while receiving debt-free, comprehensive multi-year training in their crafts. And whereas the City of Iowa City is proud to partner with the University of Iowa Labor Center, the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City Building Trades Council, Dream City, and New Creations International Church to advance equitable pathways into building trade registered apprenticeship program for residents of our city, including individuals who have been historically underserved, marginalized, and adversely affected by persistent poverty and inequality, thus strengthening our local economy. Now, therefore, I, Bruce Teague, Mayor of Iowa City, do hereby proclaim November 17th through November 23rd, 2024 to be National Apprenticeship Week in Iowa City, Iowa. And receiving this is a lot of individuals that is here with us. So those that are going to speak, I invite you up at this time.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Cole. I'm currently a first-year apprentice with the IBW Local 405. And I think that an apprenticeship program is a great way for people to be able to get paid while they learn and be able to have like a good career that will be fulfilling and will kind of see them into their adult lives. You know, I originally started out going to college. I went to Kirkwood. I got a 2-year science degree. And I started working as a lab technician just to kind of find that it wasn't really my thing personally. And I kind of wanted to do something that I was working more with my hands. And so the pre-apprenticeship program that the Labor Center puts on really helped guide me into a union apprenticeship program and really helped kind of show me what it was like working in the trades. So I knew going into it that it was definitely something that I wanted to do and wanted to pursue as a career. And even now, as an apprentice, graduating the pre-apprenticeship program, the Labor Center still helps me with their leadership class, Stepping Up for Iowa's Future. And I am very grateful for the opportunities that it has brought to me. So thank you so much for funding that program.
Thank you. Welcome.
First, I want to say good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Escalade Smith. I'm with Local 263, as well as the Stepping Up for Iowa City's future, or Stepping Up for Iowa's future. I was also a part of the Labor Center program as well. And prior to getting into the trades, I just started to work right after high school and everything. And I kind of just got stuck because I just wanted to be a part of something that would allow me to advance and give me just, constant opportunities for evolution. And that's why I got into the trades. And I just want to say thank you, because if it wasn't for that Labor Center, I probably would still be working a job that I hate. And I want to just take this time to just encourage anybody that may be working a job that they aren't, the biggest fan of, or aren't feeling satisfied from. Give the trades an option, give the trades an opportunity. Specifically for young kids who may be still in high school, who may be or in college, who may be apprehensive on going to college. I would say give the trades a chance as well. And just want to say thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jasper Washington. I'm a third year out of 1260 here in Iowa City, carpenter. I'd just like to say thank you to everybody involved in the program. It's because of them that I'm able to do something that brings me peace and prosperity, and just I'm really grateful for that. So I encourage anybody who's thinking about it to at least give it a shot. So thanks again.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jesus Garcia. I'm with the local 263 sheet metal workers. I also want to say thank you for putting on the Labor Center with Robin. She helped us out, showed us the process of how many trades there are and how many companies need tradesmen. So she gave us the option. So I chose sheet metal. And it's a career that I like, providing good wages for me and my family, and the benefits. So I want to say thank you for the day as well.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Christian Ralph, and I'm a commercial wireman for Hawkeye Electric, and I'm working on Steinler, the orthopedic clinic down in over in North Liberty. And I've always wanted to work with my hands, and so I kind of always knew I was wanting to be working through the trades. And the pre-apprenticeship program brought light on electrician, because I've always wondered how it worked, and going to see the JITC center, I was like, yeah, this is definitely what I want to do. And I made connections that, I wouldn't have made because my family's not part of any trade. And yeah, and I'm very grateful for everything that Robin's done, that you guys done. And so, yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name's Dane Taylor. I'm a union iron worker for Local 89, and I have the pleasure of working in Iowa City at the Children's Hospital for AWS, and I recently turned out earlier this year. We have a 3-year program as an iron worker, and I'm thankful to be an iron worker, and our apprenticeship has been amazing. You could have little to zero experience, and they give you the tools and knowledge to give you a successful career. So any individual that wants to pursue a career in the union, apprenticeships are important. I mean, the one thing that stuck out to me and will last a long time is safety. Safety is a huge role in my life and on the job site, because everybody wants to go home safe. So thank you for having us.
Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Robin Clark Bennett, Director of the Labor Center at the University of Iowa, and I'm here tonight to join you in celebrating the outstanding building trades registered apprenticeship training centers in our area. I really want to underscore how critically important the full support and involvement of the Cedar Rapids Iowa City Building Trades Council has been in the success of this program. And I want to thank, of course, the City of Iowa City for support of this quality pre-apprenticeship program that links Iowa City residents with these career pathways. Our pre-apprenticeship program is an exciting multi-year partnership between the Labor Center, the City of Iowa City, Cedar Rapids Iowa City Building Trades Council, Dream City, and New Creations International Church. And it has three main components. We conduct year-round outreach with schools, nonprofits, and in trusted local spaces to ensure that awareness of these high-quality career opportunities reaches across the city, including in communities that are currently underrepresented in trades. Our five-week apprenticeship readiness course prepares up to 30 residents a year with the knowledge, connections, and certifications to help them enter and succeed in registered apprenticeship training programs that can sometimes be highly competitive. And we provide ongoing support for our graduates to remove barriers to their success, helping them with testing, applications, and communication with apprenticeship leaders, as well as starter tools from our tool lending library. We're really proud to report we've had incredible response to this program. Last year's 5-week program had 34 applicants for a class of 30. 100% were from groups classified as underrepresented in the trades: young workers, veterans, people of color, people with disabilities, and women. Of 29 who attended the class, 28 of them completed all the requirements for graduation. And I just want to say that's an outstanding graduation rate for a voluntary 5-week program. That's off hours without a stipend. And overall, including the previous year's program, 42 Iowa City residents have graduated, and our placement rate is 45% and growing. Several of our graduates, as you saw, are becoming leaders in their trades and participating in a new leadership program we have with CWJ called Stepping Up for Iowa's Future, as well as the Iowa Women in Trades Network. So I'll just say quickly, our next 5-week course is February 8th to March 13th. We're working hard to publicize this opportunity. I want to thank Jack Brooks for the incredible video and for the people who appeared in it to get the word out. We already have 38 qualified applicants for a goal of 30 slots and have confirmed 28 of them, so it's an incredible sign about the strong demand for the program. And I just want to really underscore this would not be possible without City of Iowa City funding, Pastor Tony Smith and Fred Newell as critical community partners, and the incredible volunteer support of building trades unions and apprenticeship programs, as well as I just want to end by commending these amazing people who any employer is very lucky to have on their job sites, and we're very lucky as Iowa City residents to have them building our future. So thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to all of you for attending. Robin, if you don't mind just writing down the names of all those that spoke and handing it to our city clerk, that'd be so helpful whenever you get a chance. Yeah, that works. All right, great. We're going to move on to 2B, which is National Injury Prevention Day. And this will be read by our very own Mayor Pro Tem Sala.
Whereas unintentional injury are the leading cause of death for Iowans aged 1 year to 44 years, and the fifth leading causes of death for all ages. And whereas injury and violence result in annual average of 2,300 deaths, 14,500 hospitalization, and 228,900 emergency department visit in Iowa. The number of injury in Iowa is estimated to be higher due to the unknown numbers of individuals who receives other medical care or not care at all. And whereas injury can result in high cost of Iowan with average charges up to $5,800,000 per hospitalization and more than $3,400 per emergency department visit annually. And whereas in Iowa, the three leading causes of unintentional injury deaths in 2023 were falls, motor vehicles crash, and unintentional poisoning. And whereas injury, whether intentionally or unintentionally, are preventable with the state of Iowa, University of Iowa Health Care State Family Children's Hospital, and University of Iowa Health Care, the University of Iowa Injury Prevention Research Center, Iowa Department of Health and Human Services, and other partners across the state are committed to increase public awareness and education around the prevention of injury as we observe National Injury Prevention Day in Iowa and throughout the years. Now, therefore, I, Mazahir Saleh, on behalf of Bruce Teague, Mayor of Iowa City, do hereby proclaim November 18, 2024, to be National Injury Prevention Day in Iowa City. And here to accept is Pam and Ella, and Pam, sorry.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Pam Hugorf. I'm the Program Director of Pediatric Injury Prevention and Outreach at the Stead Family Children's Hospital. I feel like I need to give a special shout out to the tradesman who said he's working on our hospital. You do fantastic work. We thank you for what you do. Beside me is Ella Musin, who is a senior student here, undergrad student here at Iowa that is going to pursue a career as a physician assistant in her future. And she's been an instrumental part of helping us with this awareness campaign on National Injury Prevention Day. This campaign is in its 5th year. We've received other proclamations, so I want to thank Mayor Teague and the rest of the City Council for supporting this proclamation. This is a national campaign that's led by many children's hospitals across the country, and we're leading efforts to hopefully prevent unintentional injuries to kids. As you heard in the proclamation, unintentional injuries are the leading cause of death and disability from birth to 44 years of age. And the sad part of it is so many of those injuries are preventable. And the vast majority of them actually are preventable. And what we're not asking parents to wrap their kids in bubble wrap, although sometimes that's a great answer, right, and a great solution. But examples like put a helmet on your head when you ride a bike to prevent a traumatic brain injury in case there's a crash. Use the right type of car seat or booster seat, or certainly seat belts when you're riding in a vehicle to prevent an injury. And then prevent access and store dangers inside of a home securely so that little hands can't get into those dangers. Our mission is to prevent a family from having to endure a significant injury or possibly death to a child. That's our main goal at the hospital, is prevent those injuries from happening. Again, we want to thank you for your support.
Thank you both. (2C) is Transgender Day of Remembrance. Whereas transgender individuals in Iowa have been subject to increasing attacks on their ability to build a life in Iowa, with the number of anti-transgender bills introduced in Iowa legislature rising from 22 in 2023 to 35 in 2024. And whereas the City of Iowa City recognizes the increasing rate of hostility to transgender people's existence in the world, leading to senseless death by violence of transgender individuals nationwide, with a disproportionate number of these deaths being transgender women of color. And whereas the entire community suffers when we lose the talents and contributions of any member prematurely, whether due to the direct anti-transgender violence, to suicide, or to health conditions resulting from trauma, or the accumulate weight of relentless discrimination. And whereas 2024 marks the 25th year of Transgender Day of Remembrance, which was begun in 1999 by Gwendolyn Ann Smith to memorialize Rita Hester, a transgender woman who lost her life in a murder that remains unsolved today, and which has come to memorialize all transgender people whose lives were lost through violence. And whereas Transgender Day of Remembrance helps bring public awareness to and honors the memory of those hurt and killed by acts of anti-transgender violence each year. And whereas the City of Iowa City embraces all persons who uphold our shared values of dignity, equality, and fair treatment, and rejects the forces of discrimination, stigma, and bias that fuel abuse and violence toward people simply for being who they are. And whereas all persons are encouraged to observe this day to promote acceptance and understanding, and to honor those who have lost their lives to anti-transgender violence and their loved ones. Now, therefore, I, Bruce Teague, Mayor of Iowa City, do hereby proclaim November 20th, 2024 to be Transgender Day of Remembrance in Iowa City. And I see two individuals here to accept this proclamation. I see Luck as well as Doug, who is he is our Human Rights Commissioner Chair. And so I'll invite either one of you up at this time.
Thank you for recognizing Transgender Day of Remembrance. My name is Lucky Kiche. My pronouns are he, they. I'm a teacher in the Iowa City School District, and I'm here on behalf of Iowa City Pride. The most recent study projects that this year, at least 350 transgender people were killed. Last year's total was 321. This significant increase is detrimental, especially in the 14% increase of murders. 9 in 10, 93%, were Black and brown trans people. According to Angelo Farrell Zabala, it is crucial to remember that behind every data point in this report, there is a real person whose life was cut short because they were simply trying to live their life as their most authentic selves. We use this day and every day to remember, celebrate, cherish our siblings, to protect trans lives. Immediate action to counter the surge in anti-trans hate speech and attacks will be crucial as we enter our future. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Hi. My name is Doug Kolash. Pronouns are he, him. I serve as the chair of the Iowa City Human Rights Commission. As the proclamation says, the Transgender Day of Remembrance has existed since 1999. Since that time, there has been a dramatic increase in the violence, harassment, bullying of transgender individuals, not just at an individual level, but from the government itself, as stated in that proclamation. In the past month or so, millions of dollars were spent on ads targeting the transgender community, as I'm sure you all saw on television. The transgender community at this time is in the crosshairs and is feeling a tremendous amount of anxiety and fear. And rest assured, we can see that that trend will continue. We will see more bills. We will see more violence towards our transgender neighbors. Therefore, it's very critically important that we work to ensure that everybody in Iowa City is welcome, that all are welcome in this community. Proclamations are great. They increase awareness. But in the past 25 years, we keep seeing an increase. Proclamations aren't enough. It's time that we step up and that we show the transgender community that we will defend their rights and that Iowa City will be a bright, shining light for those individuals. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks to everyone that came for the proclamations.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to move on to our consent agenda. We have items 3 through 7, but we're going to do a separate consideration for item 6C. But could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, items 3 through 7, excluding 6C?
So moved.
Second.
All right, so moved by Mo, seconded by Harmson. All right. Anyone from the public like to address any items that has 3 through 7 excluding 6C. Seeing no one in person or online, council discussion. Roll call, please.
Burgess,
Yes.
Dunn, Harmson,
Yes.
Mo.
Yes.
Salah,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Alter.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. We are going to move on to item number 6C for separate consideration. And could I get a motion to approve 6C?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dunn, seconded by Alter. Anyone from the public like to address this topic? Seeing no one in person or online, council discussion. Roll call, please.
Dunn,
Yes.
Harmson.
Yes.
Mo.
Yes.
Salah,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Alter.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Okay. We are at item number 8, which is community comment. This is an opportunity for the public to comment on matters that are not in our regular agenda. Wanted to see a raise of hands of those that would like to comment on anything during this period. Okay, I see 2. Yes, all right. Well, welcome you to come up. You'll have up to 30 minutes to speak, and just know that council cannot reply to you during this time. Welcome.
Hello, Council, Mayor. Thank you for having us.
Name and city you're from,
My name is
please.
Brandon Ross. I'm from Iowa City. I would like people to just stop for this moment and consider that our government has just given the okay to send weapons, to send bombs into interior Russia, into Moscow. And as we all know, there's been a conflict going on. Some of us know that it's been going on since 2014. The U.S. has been involved since then. Russia got involved in 2022. Negotiations between those two countries were proposed for weeks right after Russia's involvement, but the U.S. stopped those negotiations. Boris Johnson was sent into Istanbul in March of 2022 to not accept any conditions. The U.S. has sent in $200 billion worth of arms, and Antony Blinken said right now, between now and the next presidential term, he'll send in everything he can. Joe Biden signed a way that Ukraine can send bombs into Russia, which is reckless. It doesn't matter if you like Joe Biden or you don't like Joe Biden. It doesn't matter. If we send those bombs in, which we've never done before, we have never bombed Moscow, it will be U.S. arms, and it will be U.S. technicians and engineers involved. And Russia has said that they will consider that as a call to war. We will be in World War III. This is important to take this moment to consider this. It is reckless. There's no reason to do this. It endangers the whole world. Already there's 1 million casualties from both eastern Ukraine and western Ukraine, but it will get a lot worse if that's allowed to happen. So no matter what side of the ledger you feel like you're on, this is one thing that cannot happen. We cannot bomb a fellow nuclear country and think that everything is going to be all right. It will not be. Game over. So I plead with people, this is the time to call the White House. I don't care whether you're Republican or Democrat, to call Congress. It doesn't matter if you are a Democrat or Republican, and protest this action and stop the potential destruction of the world.
Thank you. Yep. Welcome. Please state your name and city you're from.
Audrey Wiedemeyer, Iowa City. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and city staff. 2023 has been a big year for the bike library. We've expanded our staff, we've expanded our reach and our impact, and this December, we're celebrating a major milestone, our 20-year anniversary. To honor this occasion, we're commissioning some artwork where we got our start at the John Wilson Sporting Goods store, where the Chauncey is now. And for the first decade, the city of Iowa City rented us this space for $1 a year. We appreciate the city saw our potential and gave us the opportunity to grow. Today, I'm here to say thank you to the city of Iowa City and to the Climate Action Outreach staff for your continued support and guidance as we look forward to the next 20 years. This year, the city of Iowa City named the Bike Library a Resiliency Hub pilot site, and with it is coming significant funding over the next 2 years. Some may wonder why a bike shop as a resiliency hub. There's the transportation piece, of course. If all else fails, we can fix your bike and get you where you need to go. But it's more than that. And if you've ever been to the bike library, and I'm sure the city is recognizing this, the way we do what we do is fundamentally aligned with the goals of resiliency. A resiliency hub is defined as a trusted public community space that provides engagement and resources in times of need. And that's exactly the role we strive to play every single day. People are at the heart of everything we do, from supporting our volunteers that make our operations possible, to serving patrons across our community. Our programs and services are designed to benefit everyone, especially the most vulnerable populations. The city has recognized again our potential as a trusted community resource. This support comes at a critical time for us as we mobilize to tackle some ambitious projects in the coming years, like solar installation, sustainable landscaping, stormwater management, and developing our educational materials. These projects serve a functional need for us, but they also will serve as a valuable educational opportunity for residents of Iowa City. We serve over 4,500 people every year, to show people what it means to build climate change resiliency, because that is not something that we all are that familiar with even today. So thank you, Iowa City, for believing in our mission and empowering us to grow into a stronger, more resilient resource for our community.
Thank you. Before we move on, I just wanted to acknowledge that for 6C, Councilor Burgess had recused herself for 6C on our consent agenda, and Councilor Dunn joined the meeting. So I just wanted to make that note. We're going to move on to planning and zoning matters. 9A, zoning code amendment, tobacco sales-oriented retail uses. Ordinance amending Title 14 and Title Zoning Code to address tobacco sales-oriented retail uses. This is second consideration. Could I get a motion to give second consideration, please?
So moved. Done.
Second, Mo.
All right. Anyone from the public like to address this topic? If you're in person or online, please raise your virtual hand. Seeing no one in person or online. Council discussion. Roll.
Is this supposed to be? Oh, no, never mind.
Yep. Roll call, please.
Harmson.
Yes.
Mo.
Yes.
Salah.
Yes.
Teague.
Yes.
Alter.
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
Dunn.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item number 10 is our regular formal agenda. We're going to go with 10A. Bradford Drive Water Main Replacement Project. Resolution approving project manual and estimate of cost for the construction of the Bradford Drive Water Main Replacement Project. Establishing amount of bid, security to accompany each bid, directing city clerk to post notice to bidders, and fixing time and place for receipt of bids. I'm going to open up the public hearing. And welcome. All right.
Council, Mayor Teague,
Yes.
Michael Willis with the Iowa City Water Division, here to speak to the water main revision there. So on the screen, you can see that the water main replacement on Bradford Drive will affect Bradford Drive, Louise Street, and Wayne Avenue. That's about a 4-block area. The scope is to install about 2,600 linear feet of water main. This is replacing about 2,000 feet of existing 1950s and 1960s era water main. There have been a recorded 20 main breaks since 1980. Working with distribution, I've been out there on a couple of them, and it makes quite a mess on Bradford there, which inhibits the ability of people to walk safely across the street to get to the school or even to the Mercer Aquatic Center. As we go through, we'll also update and add ADA sidewalk ramps at the affected intersections, and identify service line material and tie over new copper water line services in the right-of-way for about 30 residences, which will help to work through the lead and copper improvements that are being mandated. Traffic impacts. The contract work forbids work on Bradford during the school year. Work will go on in other areas, but the Bradford Drive will remain open during the school year. Don't remember what the exact dates are right now on that. We're going to work to connect the water main on Bradford Drive to First Avenue. This will cause a temporary traffic shift to use the southbound dedicated left turn lane as the northbound lane to maintain 2 lanes of head-to-head traffic on First Avenue. During the project phases, impacted road segments will be open to local residents only. There will be no through traffic in those areas. The construction's timeline and cost. The anticipated schedule is expected to start spring and summer of 2025, with completion by fall of 2025. The estimated construction cost comes in at $1 million. The questions and contact information, you can contact myself, Michael Willis, the Assistant Water Superintendent, and Aline Damachi as the Senior Engineer from the City Engineering. You can scan the code there, the QR code, and that'll take you to the Iowa City projects. Are there any questions about what's going on?
Can you, I noticed in a previous slide, you said that you were going to identify service lines. I assume you mean private service lines that connect to the water line, whether they're lead, galvanized, or copper with lead solder. Can you walk through the process of if you identify a private service line, what happens?
Yes, as we go through, we'll be excavating the old services at the main. So in the public right-of-way, we have service line materials. Most of the time, if there's a lead service, it'll be in that section between the public-owned water main, and then everything after that is the residents' responsibility. So from the tap to the stop box is normally where you'll find the lead at, and then normally that'll tie into galvanized, and all of that is the responsibility of the property owner. But with the project, we'll go through and we'll replace that section from the water main with copper up to a new stop box in the right-of-way for that service, and we'll annotate if we remove the copper or if we remove lead, or what the material is that we removed, and what we tied the new service line material, which will be copper, up to the stop box, and what we tied that into, whether that's existing copper, existing iron, or possibly even existing lead. And then we'll go through and offer the homeowners an opportunity to utilize some of the city-offered programs to replace that lead service line at that time frame.
I've got a question that sorry, will First Avenue, you indicated that First Avenue will be impacted some at a certain point in the, when Bradford is being worked on, correct?
Yes.
Will First Avenue be impacted when school is in session,
No.
either in the beginning or near the end? Because it seems
No, during the April to, that'll only be impacted after school is out.
okay. And
So all work on Bradford and the First Avenue at Bradford will not be done while school is in session.
okay, so there will be sort of regular service on First Avenue, sort of at the cap of the
Yeah.
contract.
Once school is out, then they will be tying in the Bradford
Gotcha.
main at First Avenue.
Okay. And then another question, and it may not be for you, it might be for Jeff, is I know that there's been sort of not a sea change, but there's been more work on the negotiations of the contract after we've had some difficulties in past years with getting things done on time. Will there be either penalties or incentives to complete on time for this contract?
I'll need some help from either Michael or the engineering team.
Yeah, so there will be penalties for not finishing on time. I'm not aware of an incentive for finishing early.
Okay. As long as we've got something in there about on time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
One more question. Do you guys know about, I mean, the challenge of these projects has always been the private utilities that are unmarked. Do you have a sense of how problematic it is in this stretch of road, or?
So having been out there several times fixing main breaks, the locates that have been turned in are usually reliable. There'll be utilities, other utilities to work around during the construction progress, but they should be clearly marked and shouldn't impact, we shouldn't hit them. The contractor should be well aware of where they're at and be able to avoid them during the progress.
And nothing needs to be relocated in this project, it's just?
No.
Okay. Not really a question, but thank you for the planning to avoid the school year. My kids are out of Southeast now, but I know what that drop-off is like on a good day.
So that was one of the contractual stipulations, was that there would be no construction on Bradford while the school's in.
One thought to help with the enforcement of that is that we will publicize the home telephone number of the head contractor to the parents at Southeast if they do try, and I think that might go a long way to make sure everybody stays on.
That could be very
on
effective.
task. So,
Thank you for posing those all in question format, because these are questions for staff. Thank you.
Right. Thank you
Anyone
very
from
much.
the public like to address this topic? If you're online, please raise your virtual hand. If you're present, please step forward. Seeing no one in person or online, I'm going to close the public hearing. Can I get a motion to approve, please?
so moved, Mo.
Second, Saleh.
All right, moved by Mo, seconded by Saleh. And council discussion. Roll call, please.
Mo? Yes. Salah?
Yes.
Teague?
Yes.
Alter?
Yes.
Burgess?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Harmson?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Item 10B, Court Hill Trail Beech to Scott Replacement Project. Resolution approving project manual and estimate of cost for the construction of the Court Hill Trail Beech to Scott Replacement Project, establishing amount of bid security to accompany each bid, directing city clerk to post notice to bidders, and fixing time and place for receipt of bids. I'm going to open the public hearing and welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
So I probably haven't been addressing the council in a while, so I might be a new face for some, but my name is Tyler Olson. I'm one of the civil engineers on staff with the engineering department. So today we're just going to be talking about the Court Hill Trail Replacement Project. So this is for a section of the Court Hill Trail that is on the east side of town, right across the street from Scott Park. And this is a section of the trail that's between Scott Boulevard and Beech Street. And with this project, we're intending to replace the existing trail that's there. So we're not really intending to change the footprint or the overall concept that was already there, but we are to replace the original trail that was installed about 2 decades ago or so. Just over time, the trail has shown degradation there, and just to keep the trail going for the future there, this section was selected for replacement. With this project, we're looking at replacing the west half of the Scott Boulevard crossing, so this will be on the southbound lanes of Scott Boulevard, and there will be a detour for that section. And then also, we're going to be replacing the connection to Beech Street. And right now, that connection is kind of an awkward configuration where Beech Street kind of dead ends there, and then the trail kind of comes in at the end of Beech Street, and it's a little awkward to try to get around to get onto the sidewalks or onto Beech Street itself. So with this project there, we're going to rearrange that a little bit, so it makes it a little bit easier to access the sidewalks, but also to get onto Beech Street itself. So with this project, it's kind of a little bit more zoomed in here. So this is going to occur all for next year. So it'll be going from the time period about March into probably around early July is the time period we're looking at. So the early phase of this project will start right around March, and the intent of that is to do a little bit of tree trimming. Now, this is not taking out the wooded area or anything. This is mainly to go after the volunteer trees or the scrub brush that's grown closer to the trail in the last 20 years. And that's just to facilitate the need for getting equipment in there to repave the trail. When that's done, the next phase will be going to Scott Boulevard. That's going to be in the early part of this project. And during this is going to be a critical closure where we'll require the contractor basically to get in and get out as quick as they can. We're planning on a 2-week closure there. And leading up to that, we plan to have electronic signage out there to allow travelers who use that corridor frequently to kind of know ahead of time that southbound lane will be impacted. The northbound should not be impacted at all. People can still use that route. And the intent is to detour traffic onto Court Street over to Taft and then down to American Legion Road and then back to the roundabout on American Legion Road and Scott Boulevard. So that it shouldn't be too long, but the intention is to get about 2 weeks is what we need to do that other section there. After that's completed there, we have the contractor will be likely doing some demolition work during the time period of phase 2, but also during phase 3, they'll be removing the trail. And the intention is that they're going to replace the trail with concrete. And right now, the current trail is an asphalt pavement. We're going to replace with concrete just for the durability and the long. We seem to have better luck with concrete pavement and on these trails. With that, right now, there's not much in the line of stormwater management along this trail. Right now, it's basically you have the creek at the lower end on the photo here, and then as you go up towards the neighborhood, it slopes uphill. And right now, if there's a large rainfall or even snow melt, that water can go up onto the trail. So what we're looking at doing is create a gentle depression just along the north side of the trail, so that way it kind of captures a little bit of that water to try to keep it off the trail. And that's going to include some stormwater drainage that's going to have intakes that are going to have pipes discharged to the creek there. So the idea is just to try to keep the trail open a little longer, try to keep debris from washing up on there, but also try to keep snow melt from melting onto the trail and creating ice in the wintertime. So moving over to the Beech Street connection, that was kind of an awkward configuration there where the trail kind of comes up and falls along the back end of Beech Street. We're actually going to reconfigure that so we can pull it away from the edge of Beech Street. There's been some issues with the trail currently has been changing in elevation relative to the street pavement and the intakes that are along the back end there. So it's actually creating an elevation difference where people could potentially trip on that. So the idea is to try to pull that away so that we don't have that issue later on. And how it's going to be done is we're going to have that little bit more of a gentle curve along the west side, so that way it makes it a little bit easier to use that connection there. Kind of looking how this trail applies to the Iowa City strategic plan. So this focuses mostly on the impact area mobility that's relative to this project. And with those strategies, there's 2 major ones that would apply here. One is to maintain the complete streets and also have the comfortable and safe for all users. And this project does connect to sections along Scott Boulevard and also Beech Street, but also just having that safe and good services to walk on and bike along is important to meeting that strategy. Those sidewalk connections will be ADA compliant, so make sure we have the curb ramps with the detectable warnings and check the slopes to make sure that they're compliant with the ADA. One of the other things we're going to be doing as well is that currently right now the trail is about 8 feet wide. We're actually going to expand that to 10 feet wide. That tends to be a little more comfortable for users just to access the trail and use the trail. So when you have two bicycles passing each other, it's get a little more room there so you don't feel like you have to get off the side of the trail a little bit, let somebody pass. One of the other strategies there is to grow and prioritize bike and pedestrian accommodations. And with this trail, it is a beloved trail. Just speaking with residents who live there, this is a trail that a lot of people actually use on a daily basis. And as it sits right now, it's still passable, but over time, it's likely going to keep deteriorating. And we don't want to get into a situation where that trail is deteriorating so much we have to close the trail. So this is kind of a measure here to replace the trail so we can continue to keep using it in the future. So the trail, for the construction costs, we're looking at just a little over $260,000. And we have this funding available in the Capital Projects Fund. I kind of briefly talked a little bit about the schedule there, but I just kind of broke it down a little bit more as what the next steps are on this. So pending approval of this resolution here to approve the plan, the project manual, and the cost estimate there, we're looking at issuing bid documents starting tomorrow. And we're planning on having the bid opening on December 11th of this year. And depending on what kind of bids we get back, and if we feel that we recommend to accept or to award one of the contracting bids, we're looking at the next available city council meeting, which will be on January 7th of next year. And moving for the construction there, this will be limited to just next year. We're looking at phase one, which is doing that tree trimming and just kind of getting the site ready. That's going to happen during the month of March. There will be some periodic trail closures there just to facilitate trucking in there, but the intention is just that it's kind of more like on a daily basis situation. Phase two, so this is where the southbound lane of Scott Boulevard will be removed and replaced. That's going to be, again, it's going to be a 2-week critical closure period, so the intention is to have the contractor get in, do the repair work, and leave as soon as they can. And there is going to be liquidated damages associated with that, so if they're late, they do pay a penalty on that. With the phase three, this will be going on simultaneously if the contractor can schedule that in. But the intent is that there'll be about a 2 to 3 month period where they'll be removing the trail and also repaving it, and as well as redoing the connection at Beech Street. We're looking at so the schedule has the trail being completed likely in July, and that's for being able to use the trail. Given that it's going to end in the midsummer, it's a little hard to do reseed the lawns, the grass around the trail. So that's going to happen a little bit later in the fall when the weather improves, that we just don't have the hot days that are going to hurt the grass from regrowing. So looking at a final completion date, likely we have it set for September 30th as the final date to wrap up this project.
Any questions?
Tyler, you spoke to the detour for the traffic from Scott Boulevard. What is the plan for pedestrian bicycle detour, if any?
Yeah, so this one here is a little bit tricky since that's the only trail going through that little section there. But pedestrians can use sidewalks and pathways that go north on Scott Boulevard over to Court Street. And if you go west, you can go down Peterson. And then you can go over to Arbor and then come back into Beech Street. So there is a walking path. It's a little bit of a detour route there for somebody maybe walking, take a little longer, but at this point there, that's about the only path we have that's accessible for pedestrian use.
I just didn't know if do we normally sign those kinds of detours?
Yeah, we can put signs out. We can also have like little letters or something that kind of try to show that there is a pathway there, just to provide a little more clarity on that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Kind of a follow-up to that is, thinking the same thing. That would be to get the detour you described to be to not take Beech to go around. What if you're coming down Scott during construction on that wide path? Will there be a pathway to get through there, or you just cross the road?
The critical closure period, the west side of that crossing at Scott Boulevard, that will be inaccessible there just because of the reconstruction work. But after that 2-week critical closure period, that crossing will then open back up again.
So you can kind of go
so
back and forth.
it'll be kind of a little awkward 2-week period there where you have to go on the east side of Scott Boulevard to go around, but then after that 2-week period, in theory, you should be able to go on the west side and cross over into Scott Park.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone from the public like to address this topic? If you're online, please raise your virtual hand. Seeing no one in person or online, I'm going to close the public hearing. Could I get a motion to approve, please?
So move. Second?
Moved by Saleh, seconded by Burgess. Council discussion. Roll call, please.
Sella,
Yes.
Teague,
Yes.
Alter,
Yes.
Burgess,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Harmson,
Yes.
Moe.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. We are on to items 10C, Court Street Reconstruction Project. Resolution approving project manual and estimate of cost for the construction of the Court Street Reconstruction Project, establishing amount of bid security to accompany each bid, directing city clerk to post notice to bidders, and fixing time and place for receipt of bids. I'm going to open the public hearing and welcome.
Hi, my name is Ethan Yoder. I'm a civil engineer for the city of Iowa City, and with me I have Michael Farr, who is with FOTH, who is the design consultant for the project.
If you can use the mic, please. Thank you.
Yep. So a little background on the project. Court Street, it is an important collector street that grants a lot of access and gets a lot of use from the east side of Iowa City to downtown, as well as access to City High. The project limits start just west of Muscatine Avenue at Grant Street and go to South First Avenue. The goals of this project are to improve the conditions of the aging pavement, intersection improvements including ADA compliant ramps, and address the aging underground utilities. And here we just have a couple of pictures just kind of depicting the current conditions, which the pavement is approximately 6 to 7 inches with a 2 to 3 inch asphalt overlay, which is starting to deteriorate. Currently, the sidewalk is also about a foot off the back of the curb, with the utility poles essentially on the back of curb as well. And so a little bit of outreach we've done. We've had 3 public information meetings, with starting, and the first one was in 2021. We had a second in 2022 and a third in 2024. We do plan on having a 4th meeting prior to construction, just to kind of give the residents a little bit more information. We've also met with plenty of residents individually to address any of their specific questions to their own property. We've also met with the private utilities, I would say at least 20 times, just to make sure that we're all on the same page and we're able to get their utilities moved prior to the construction. And then we've also made sure we met with City High to make sure we have good coordination for them to get in and out of the school.
All right. My name is Michael Farr. I'm the project manager on behalf of FOTH. And I'll just talk about the improvements here a little bit and give some information on the construction and the staging of the project. So overall, like Ethan mentioned, full roadway replacement here. So that involves the prepping the subgrade, new subbase granular material, and then the new concrete roadway surface. As part of this, the lane widths will be reduced out there, which will help promote some traffic calming measures in that corridor. New sidewalk and pedestrian facility replacements. Right now, the sidewalk is only about a foot or 2 off of the back of curb. We're going to have a parkway width of about 6.5 feet that allows for some snow storage there behind the curb. There will be new 5-foot sidewalk on both sides of the road, the north and south sides, and then new ADA ramp facilities just to bring things up to current design standards. We'll also have a number of retaining walls along the corridor. And the main thing there's some yards that are pretty steep, that are difficult, I would say, for residents to maintain. So we'll have a handful of those along there. Brand new storm sewer along the whole project. Right now, the storm's about kind of on the west third is all we have for underground storm, and it's definitely undersized. So we're looking to bring everything up to current design standards with that as well, and that'll be throughout the corridor. There'll be sanitary sewer replacements out there, mainly just the structures. We do have some main that will be replaced as part of the project as well, and then all brand-new water main that'll be along the project limits. There'll also be new traffic signals there at the intersection of Court with Muscatine, and then Court with South First Avenue. As part of this project, we'll be doing a joint utility trench, which essentially, right now, the utilities are overhead on poles, and we have a lot of conflicts out there, not only with the poles, just with how close they are to the back of curb, also with underground utilities. So we're doing a joint trench, which will run the entire length of the project, and it'll allow a place for all the communication facilities to go, as well as the electric. And also, that was part of that too, was we tried to reduce impacts to residents out there. The right-of-way is very narrow, so this was also something that helped with that. So as I mentioned, with the improvements here, this is just kind of a cross-sectional view of what the project will look like. So we're going down to we'll have 11-foot travel lanes, one each direction, and then a 1.5-foot curb and gutter section. So it'll be 25 feet back of curb to back of curb. Existing is about 31. As I mentioned, the 6.5-foot parkway width that'll be on either side of the road there. The storm sewer improvements, the main trunk line will be on the south side. You can kind of see the large structure there. There'll also be lines that'll run across the road to intakes, but just want to kind of show where the main trunk line will be. As I mentioned, sanitary sewer improvements there with mainly the structures, and then also the water main you can see will be on the north side of the road. The joint utility trench itself will be under the south side sidewalk. We've had a lot of communication with utility companies, and so they've worked through their design as to how many conduits they need, and we've essentially kind of sized that and designed that as part of the project. Looking at construction here, so this project will be we consider 3 years, but it's about 2.5. The joint trench will start, and that'll be in the first year. We're looking to start here in 2025. And the main goal there is to get that through the entire length of the project here. So it'll start at Muscatine and head east. And the roadway portion then will kind of start and follow behind that. We're only anticipating getting from Muscatine to roughly Wales there in that first calendar year. So you can kind of see that's roughly the limits there. And then the detour plan, as we've got shown here, the primary detour for the majority of the project is going to be south on Muscatine over to South First. And then that's depicted by the red line work there. And then the blue arrows and the blue line work, that's going to be more of a local access, kind of a local detour. There won't be a ton of traffic on that we're anticipating. It's just mainly while we're staging the intersection there of Muscatine. We've got to do it half at a time, so just be able to get residents through there. And the road will be closed to through traffic for the project. It'll have local access only, basically maintaining access to residents kind of throughout the project here, but you won't be able to go all the way through from Muscatine to South First there. The 2026, so the second year of construction here, will be from Wales down to 2nd Avenue. So that's with a bigger chunk of the project here for the roadway piece. Again, the detour plan will be Muscatine to the south there over to South First. And this chunk, it won't be complete all at one time. We have to stage this kind of in two main sections, and it's to maintain access there to the school. We've worked with City High and kind of made sure that we know what their primary access need is out there, and making sure that we at least have that maintained at all times. And then the final year of construction, this is going to be limited to really when school is out during the summer. Here, it's from 2nd Avenue through South First Avenue, and this will be a full closure to complete this work here. As you can see, the detour route for this portion will be utilizing Rochester over to Scott and then down to Muscatine. So that will be, and the time frame there, like I'd mentioned, is really when school is not in session. So from like that early June to kind of towards the end of August there.
And then to tie this all back into the strategic plan, with these updates, it'll help lower annual maintenance costs. The narrower streets do aim to help lower vehicular speeds. The ADA curb ramps will help with mobility, pedestrians or bicyclists that are using the area. And the increased parkway width will help increase snow storage, which should help the sidewalks stay clear. And it should also increase user experience by providing a larger buffer space between the vehicles and the sidewalk. The estimated cost for both the joint utility trench and the roadway reconstruction is $9,600,000. The bid letting for this project is December 18th. We plan on awarding in January 7th, 2025. The joint utility trench, like Michael said, is going to start in the spring of 2025 and be completed by fall 2025. The roadway, public utilities, and the other improvements will start in the spring of 2025 and complete in the fall of 2027. Are there any questions?
Yes, quick compliment first. I know since Councilor Alter and I have been on here, we've and others, having this wait until Rochester was done, because originally this was planned to start sooner. So thank you for that. Any lessons learned from the Rochester project that could be carried forward to help this one go smoother and stay closer to on schedule?
Yep, well, we actually have an incentive-disincentive as part of this project. I can't remember exact numbers off the top of my head, but if they get it done early, we obviously will try to pay them extra, but we definitely will, they will incur penalties if they are behind schedule.
I'm personally very excited about the utility trench idea. It seems like that's very much responding to some of the, at least forward-looking to some future problems. You talked about working with existing utilities to make sure that they're have a space in the trench. There's expansion built in too, though, right? So future utilities could come and they lease the space or whatever from the city or just use it. I'm not sure.
Yep, we actually plan to actually put in some extra conduit as part of this project. So if other companies do want to come in, we're at least somewhat prepared. That is a limited number, though, so I don't know how many may potentially join in the future.
And like when somebody's done using it, like, can you make them take it out? How does that work? They just leave it abandoned in place. All right. Well, I'm excited about that. I'm curious about the intersection at Muscatine. I know that's when you're as a pedestrian walking through that intersection, it's weird angles, and is there any improvement to that, or is it really we're stuck with the geometry that was built?
It's a lovely characteristic, Josh. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so we did look at a lot of different options, to try to fix that. Unfortunately, for the most part, the geometrics with how the road come in it's going to be the same. We do have the sidewalks. We're cleaning that up a little bit. Again, it'll be ADA accessible right now. There's really nothing that's, I would say, per standard. So we'll be cleaning that up. But yeah, the box culvert there and everything else, that just posed a lot of I would say, issues.
My last item is a little bit of a concern. You talked about adding additional stormwater infrastructure, which would increase the amount of water, which is good to keep water off of the road, but what do you do to mitigate the increased demand on the existing infrastructure that's there? Like you're dumping into a creek. How do we ensure that we don't flood people's houses or basements with the new added stormwater, I guess, load that's being added from all this new, better infrastructure?
Yep. So basically the water right now, I would say it flows on street. So it's still going to that location. We're just capturing it so you don't have, like when you're driving out there, you'd have a gutter spread where the road would probably be completely covered under a big rain event. So it's just basically getting it underground there.
I had I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
Oh, go ahead.
Two questions. One is, I know that you mentioned early on that you've had, meetings, public information sessions and meetings with the neighborhood as well as many other stakeholders. Did you, A, introduce the notion that there would be retaining walls? And then B, was there any pushback on it? Sorry, I just do not want to revisit this.
Yeah, we've had a lot of conversations out there. We kind of went, so with the outreach we had with the public information meetings, we did show that. We showed some pictures. We kind of had a rendering, like a fly-through of the project. And so when we kind of ran through that at one of our meetings, and it just gave people an idea of what it's going to look like out there.
So they know what's coming up.
Yep.
And then, okay. My second question also, and obviously doing like a Google image doesn't really help a ton, but given the current situation of how close, what you're going to have to do to get this all in place, was there discussion about how many mature trees would have to be cut down? Is that a concern? Is there a plan in place? I don't know if that then carries over into Parks and Rec to replant, or, so I'm just curious if you can speak to that.
So as far as the tree impacts, we had the city's arborist went out there and actually looked at all the trees in the corridor. Some of them, just with the derecho they'd gone through, and some of them actually weren't in the greatest shape. So we had identified, we do have trees identified for removal out there, and some of those trees were part of that were okay. These are not good. There's no real issue, I would say, with them being removed. The trees that were identified as critical that we don't want to remove them, we did what we could there to make sure that we're saving those and not taking down some large overhead trees out there.
Am I going to regret asking how many trees you're thinking they're looking at to remove or needing to remove?
So there's about 40 trees out there. I think it was 43 trees, I believe, 7 of which are in the city. I would say they're in the city's right-of-way. So those, with the project, those would, they're not on private property.
Okay.
So is that 7 that we were considering for all this, or 7 that are going to be removed, or 7 that were impacted?
The 7 is part of the 43. Sorry.
Yeah. So, but I mean, in terms of, so the 43 are what's going to be removed?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
You mentioned 7 are in the right-of-way, sorry. But on a very early slide, you showed existing right-of-way, the 50 feet width. Are we acquiring additional property, expanding the right-of-way?
So the right-of-way out there is staying at 50 feet. Okay. We have some acquisitions just at intersections, mainly for the ADA sidewalks. So it's pretty limited. I think we had, let me just look at the number here. There were 15 parcels we had to obtain acquisitions from out of the 71 temporary easements. So it's a pretty small amount. That was kind of a, definitely a consideration of the project. We didn't want to, impact right away. So it was really limited to the intersections.
And it sounds like that, what you said, 6-7 feet of roadway is where a lot of the additional parkway is coming from, the narrowing of the roadway?
Yes.
Okay.
And also the sidewalks will get shifted back a little bit closer to where the actual right-of-way is. So that also gives a little bit of extra room out there.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Sorry, one more question. I'm looking at this cross-section and wondering, this is a place where I think I see people ride bikes on the sidewalks a lot, just because Court Street's so busy. Is 5 feet, like, okay for a bike and a pedestrian, or is that?
5, so.
Is that just kind of what we got?
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you're talking about a multi-use trail, no. I mean, this is mainly a sidewalk facility.
Okay.
That's why we mark Friendship as the bikeway, I think.
Okay.
We talked with the last project of 10 feet, expanding from 8 to 10. That's typically what we would have for kind of purpose-built trails. I think our standard for new construction is 6. Is that, are we 5? It is 5? Okay.
Okay.
5. So
I know that this size is just constrained here. I know this neighborhood well, and you see bikes on the sidewalks a lot, so.
I am happy to see the extended, the parkway there, because that is so many kids walking to school, and there's a ton of our newest drivers in the community also on that same roadway, and I think having a little extra space between those two factors, I like that. I like to see that in design.
Ron Konecki, Public Works. I wanted to go back to the comment in regards to the bicycles. As Councilor Burgess mentioned, Friendship is identified in our bicycle master plan as kind of the thorough way through here, and we also have the Court Hill Trail that parallels this also. So we've kind of constrained ourselves to stay within the existing right-of-way, and once we start creeping outside the existing right-of-way, there's a lot of impacts that happen with the residents in the neighborhood. That's why we didn't provide for an official bicycle pedestrian, or that improvement there in the corridor. So
Understood. Thanks for that clarification on that. So.
I do have one other question now that you've given me more time to think. So the utility trench will be happening all in the coming year, is that right? So does that mean all the overhead utilities will be undergrounded at that time?
Yep.
Okay, so the poles will be coming down at that time. Does that mean pedestals, or what will residents expect in their yards to replace the utility poles?
Yep. I know a couple of the companies, they will be putting pedestals up. We also will have a couple handholds throughout the corridor. For electrical, there will be some larger transformers and switch gears that will need to go in, so that way everybody's able to get the power.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you both. All right. Anyone from the public like to address this topic? Seeing no one in person or online, I'm going to close the public hearing. Can I get a motion to approve, please?
So moved, Mo.
Second, Saleh.
Moved by Mo, seconded by Saleh. And council discussion.
It's overdue.
All right.
It's a lot.
Roll call, please.
Teague?
Yes.
Alter?
Yes.
Burgess?
Yes.
Dunn?
Yes.
Harmson?
Yes.
Mo?
Yes.
Salah?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. We are moving on to council appointments, which is item 11. 11, so what we're going to do is go through each one of these separately. So we're going to go through 11A, Climate Action Commission. 3 vacancies to fill a 3-year term, January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027. And we'll just have council discussion.
Emma Bork stood out to me.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, say that louder, please.
Emma Bork is a candidate that stood out to me, as well as I believe Katie Burial.
Yeah, I had Katie Burial, Nadja Krylov was another one.
I had both of those.
Yep, me too.
And I'm by no means, there are a lot of names and there are a lot of people who are qualified. So I'm just reading out my list, and if people are there with it, that's cool, but I'm not pounding my fist. The other person that I had, or other two as considerations, were Robert Trayer and possibly Jenks, although I do understand as well that her partner, I believe, is on Climate Action Commission as well.
Yes.
I do not know if that
Listed in the thing.
is
But that's
an
the one
issue.
that's
But I
ending.
think they're ending.
Oh, the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then,
Yeah.
so anyway, I had a list of several,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
but.
I didn't write down all of
No,
your
no.
list because I
No, no,
wasn't
no.
sure
I think
where you
we're
were.
all just kind of, I think, tossing out names.
I think we're looking for 3, right?
Yeah.
And I think we do have 4 for Katie Burial and Emma Bork.
I
don't have
didn't
Emma.
have Emma on my list.
Oh, I thought you
I don't
had
have
Emma.
Emma.
I had
Oh, okay.
Katie.
Katie?
I had
Katie.
Katie and Nadia and Jinx.
I had Katie, Nadja, and Robert, so I mean, that's.
I can go for Robert.
Mostly overlap.
Yeah.
So it sounded like Katie and Jinx, which I.
No, Nadja.
Katie and Nadja.
Did you just say Jinx?
I did.
Okay.
I said as a possibility.
Got it. Okay. All right. So what are names that have been repeated? And I can support Jinx, but.
Katie.
Katie. All right.
Nadja.
Naja. Yes.
And Robert Trayer, right?
He was a
Yeah. I could
possibility.
sup- all three of those I could support.
Yeah.
And I don't have any problem with any name that's been mentioned, so.
Yeah, I can support the three, Katie, Naja, and Robert. Are there
Yes.
people good with that? All right. Could I get a motion to approve for the Climate Action Commission, Katie Brio, Naja Krylov, and Robert Trayer?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dunn, seconded by Alter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. 11B, Human Rights Commission, one vacancy to fill an unexpired term upon appointment through December 31st, 2024, plus a 3-year term. And so this is unexpired plus, so.
So we're going to do that
3-year.
one first, and then we'll do the other ones?
Correct,
Mr.
we'll
Mayor?
do it separate, yes.
I mean, like Emily Perkins,
I had her as my, I like her.
Donna Harris, I don't know. But Emily Harkins now.
Yes, I also had, depending on wherever we end up putting, like, we have the same basic, it's the same list.
We can
Yeah.
figure this out,
So,
yeah.
so that shit, somewhere in my mix, Emily Harkin. I also thought that Kelly Brommel, I thought was interesting to me.
She's a possibility.
And that, is it Janine Kerr also was a little bit of, I thought also had, there was a lot of good people, so it's.
Sure.
A lot of good people. I
This
have
is-
also Lubna Muhammad and Megan Hills and
Allison
Donna
Tippy on my
Hills.
list.
Allison Tippy, yeah.
She was on my list in
Ellen
addition to the
Tippy.
ones that you mentioned, so.
I was interested, she might be, if I'm, Estella, I can't read in my own writing.
Brewer Johnson.
Oh,
Brewer Johnson, yes. I don't know how others feel.
So we have a lot of names right now.
yeah.
A huge list.
So maybe if,
Stella's.
Emily Harkin.
Emily,
Harkin.
I think Emily Harkin did have,
so Emily Harkin?
yes.
Okay.
Although,
She's-
yes, for which one?
So this would be for the one vacancy to fill an unexpired term upon appointment through December 31st, plus a 3-year term.
Yep.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Yep. Could I get a motion to appoint Emily Harkin?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Dunn, seconded by Saleh. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. 11C is Human Rights Commission, 2 vacancies to fill a 3-year term, January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027. And there are quite a few names that we just finished mentioning.
Lubna Muhammad, I think.
I can support Lubna.
Yeah, me too.
Sure. Sorry, I didn't hear.
And Lubna is on our Truth and Reconciliation Commission, but as we know, that'll be ending really when this kind of starts. So I can certainly,
Conflict, okay.
so I can certainly support Lubna.
Yep.
So I think we have 4 for Lubna. Any other recommendations?
This is just for one, right?
No, it's for 2.
For two,
Yeah.
okay.
Again,
Donna
I put
also.
Estella as a
Estella, yeah.
possibility. Sophia Heller.
Allison Tippy.
Allison.
Yeah, I have Allison and Estella on my list, but
I can go for Allison.
I have Donna Harris too.
Mayor, and
Let's
just to note, this was the one that had one additional name on the
Yep, and
two-year
everybody has it. Yep.
period
Yep.
that's currently serving an unexpired term.
Yep.
I have also Allison on my list, and I have Donna Harris.
Okay, 1 second.
they're all.
No, Allison Tippy looks good.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing Allison Tippy.
Are we,
Allison TV.
Yeah, I could go with that.
So could I get a motion to approve Lubna Mohammed and Allison Tippy?
So move.
Can I just,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, so do I understand correctly, they're different lists on, I just looked at the first list assuming they were the same.
Correct. The second list has one additional current member that his unexpired term is ending, Doug Collish.
Okay.
Okay.
That is on the second list.
And also it is on the first.
Could you just give us a second?
So he did apply for reappointment?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
But since he's already on there, he can't really qualify
To
the
fill the
unexpired.
unexpired term?
Yeah, plus.
All right. Did you just say he was filling a partial term?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so he's not yet had a full term.
And he's the
And
current
he's the
chair.
chairperson,
Yeah.
seems like.
I think Lubna and Doug.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
I agree.
That makes
So-
sense. Thank you.
Yes.
Any other, sound like Lubna and Doug, I'm hearing majority?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
With the just general thing to anyone who's listening, this was such a tremendously difficult
Oh, a lot of
decision,
great
and it was
applicants.
absolutely riveting to read all of the engagement and activism that is represented here. So thank you all.
Yes,
There's
there is
like
a
24
lot of good people here.
Yeah.
And I think I encourage them to apply for another commission.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, and I mean, it was the entire, every commission had really strong people, but
Yes,
this
they
was,
did.
wow.
Yes, yeah, but those people, they can apply also to another
Yes.
commission, not
Yes.
only like focusing on the human rights commission. That's what
100%.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and so could I get a motion to approve Lubna Mohammed and Doug Kolash?
So move Lubna Muhammad and Douglas.
Second?
So moved by Salah, seconded by Alter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion passes 7-0. 11D, Parks and Recreation Commission, 2 vacancies to fill a 4-year term, January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2028.
Go for Jeff Mallory and Michael Gaunt.
I had Jeff Mallory on my list.
I had Jeff Mallory.
And who?
Jeff Mallory was on my list. I think we heard that
Yeah.
3 or 4 people know.
4 people, that's 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree.
That
I
works fine,
liked, I mean, I liked all three, again, but I went with Michael Gaunt. I thought that was an interesting set of experience.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm hearing the majority for Jeffrey Mallory and Michael Gaunt.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Don, seconded by Mo. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, motion passes 7-0. Could I get a motion to accept correspondence?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mo, seconded by Alter. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, motion passes 7-0. 11E is Public Art Advisory Committee. 1 vacancy, and this is at large. 1 vacancy to fill a 3-year term, January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027.
This too, I think this was very difficult.
We need to recuse myself for this discussion.
Okay. So Counselor Mo is recusing himself from this discussion item.
Kelly, is it right that, so I like Rachel Kinker. She's currently serving a partial term. Looks like she started in just January of this year. No, sorry, April of this year. Is that right? According to the attendance?
Yeah, typically if, when terms are expiring, or for the unexpired ones, if it's more than 6 months, we have
We'll do
folks
it again?
apply.
Okay.
So that's why it seems like she just applied and she did and got appointed, but it was over 6 months, so.
Thank you
since her
for
term's
that.
ending, we have to redo it.
Clarification,
I
but
could support her.
So Rachel Kinker. Hearing, okay. Could I get a, well, so we have only 1 opening? Yes, all right,
Oh, I see. Okay.
yes. Could I get a motion to appoint Rachel Kinker to the Public Art Advisory Committee?
so moved.
Second.
Moved by Burgess, seconded by Harmson. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
6-0 on that one.
6-0. All right, we're going to move on to item number 11F, Senior Center Commission. 2 vacancies to fill a 3-year term, January 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2027. And
This is one where we only have 2 applicants.
Yep, so just wanted to give people thoughts. We have one that is unexpired term seeking reappointment.
Sounds good.
And are folks okay with Catherine
Yep.
Milster?
Yes. Yes, no objections.
All right. Can I get a motion to appoint Lee McKnight and Catherine Milster to the Senior Center Commission?
So moved.
Second.
All right, moved by Mo and seconded by Alter. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. All right, we are on to item number 12 is announcements of vacancies previous. 12A, Airport Zoning Board of Adjustment, 1 vacancy to fill a 5-year term. Airport Zoning Commission, 1 vacancy to fill a 6-year term. Board of Adjustment, 1 vacancy to fill a 5-year term. Board of Appeals, HVAC Professional, 1 vacancy to fill an unexpired term. Historic Preservation Commission, Jefferson Street, 1 vacancy to fill a 3-year term. Historic Preservation Commission, Woodlawn Avenue, 1 vacancy to fill an unexpired term plus a 3-year term. Vacancies will remain open until filled. We're at item number 13, City Council information. Hearing none, we're going to move on to item number 14, reports on items from city staff, city manager's office.
Well, I'd like to take a moment and just introduce our new Deputy City Manager, Chris O'Brien, sitting next to Kirk Lehman over there. Chris joined the team this last week and came back this week, thankfully. Is in week 2 here and excited to have him back on board. Chris worked for the city for about 20 years before leaving for private sector work in 2017. So excited to have Chris back and anxious for you to get a chance to work with both him and Kirk going forward.
Welcome. All right, city manager, city attorney's office.
Thank you, Mayor. I was able to attend the Iowa Municipal Attorneys Association annual conference, a one-day affair in the Des Moines area on Friday, which is great. It's very focused in the work that they do, and so that's well appreciated, and it's great to be able to refresh relationships with colleagues there. I brought with me Eric Bigley, the attorney who just joined our office, and we've been colloquially called the Erics now in our office for lack of a better nicknames.
Great. All right, city clerk office.
Well, I can't say nothing after those 2. Well, as you see a new face in the audience, she's not new to the city, but Connie McCurdy is the administrative secretary in my office. And she actually finalizes all the documents after the meeting. So she kind of wanted to see the front end process. So decided to come to a meeting and check it out.
Great. Well, welcome. All righty. On to item number 15. Could I get a motion to adjourn from our formal meeting where we will go into our work session?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Alter, seconded by Mo, because you were the first beyond the other 2. All right. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0.